Hello everyone, and I'm sorry for the very, very late review of Furious 7, or Fast Furious 7. This movie's already been out for 2 weeks, and I just finally got a chance to see it today, and I'm here to give you my thoughts on it. And to be honest, this for me was actually a very big anticipated film. Even though it didn't make like my 4 or 5 most anticipated movies of this year, I still was very, very optimistic and really kind of pumped to see this movie, because I've seen literally the third all the way until this one. Actually, no, I haven't seen Fast and Furious 6 in theaters, but I have seen that on DVD. But aside from the 6, I've seen the third movie all the way up until this one, all in theater, and I'm a bit of a fan, even though like I acknowledge these movies are not like the best ever. Like, they're pretty fun at times. And for this movie, I think this movie is pretty much the 21 Jump Street of Fast and Furious movies. Now, let me explain that. And you may think that's really weird to say, because this is the one that really knew what it was and really took advantage of that. It was unbelievably, hugely bombastic. It was so over the top. It really did jump the shark at times, and at times you're just like, alright, fuck gravity. And those moments are in this film, and it does really kind of become like this own self-parody, and really knows what it is and homages it. And wears that solidly as a badge as it goes along. And this movie, of all the characters from the past, like Vin Diesel, Michelle Rodriguez, Ludacris, Paul Walker, Tyrese Gibson, basically all these other characters we've seen before in these movies. And in this movie, they're all pretty much here in this big movie. And this movie is kind of tied to the last, Fast and Furious 6, because it takes almost like immediate events after it. Like, if you've seen Fast and Furious 6, you see Hans, like, in the end, this is a bit of a spoiler for the last movie, they came out in 2013, is that in the end of that movie, you see Jason Statham kill the character Han, who was my favorite character of Fast and Furious 5, because I just love the character, and I was so furious that he died. Just, some chocolate there. But like, it basically takes events of past events in the franchise, and it really does almost like bury that along. It's just like, it's pretty much it's like a mix of a great revenge movie mixed with like a cat, is pretty much in its own sense a cat and a mouse movie, where it's basically one after another, and almost trading positions of who's a hunter and who's being hunted, and it's furious, and it's just complete, solid, all-around, gripping action. First things first, and also you have this new director, James Wann. Not really a new director, but he's a new director for the franchise, and you may know that name from the first Saw movie, you know him from Insidious 1 and 2, and you also know him from The Conjuring, who he directed all those movies, and I'm actually a pretty big fan of his films that he's done. And I really do enjoy his directing in this movie. It really was almost like he really did capture the livelihood and the spirit of every place that they shot in. Like, some places to shoot in the forest, or in the Middle East, or in LA. It's like they really got the mood and the feeling and the atmosphere of those type of worlds really, really well. And I'm just like, that gave the movie a lot more believability and groundedness to it. And all the characters do, I won't say a terrific job, but they do a good job of maintaining who they are, and they all give very, very compelling performances. And the 3 stars for me were Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who was always really fun in these movies, Paul Walker, and Vin Diesel were the real stars for me. And Jason Statham as a villain was great, and I loved how he was kind of like from his last movie, he's like, "Oh, brother," because in the last movie, his brother was played by Luke Evans. He's like, "Oh, brother, I want exact revenge for you." It was a pretty terrible impression, but he basically almost like promises to get revenge for the people who harmed his family, even though he's going after the people he's going up against. He's hurting their family. It's just like, I love that model for the movie. He gave it very much of a very grounded, great, powerful sense where it's like, don't fuck with my friends or family, okay? don't do that, that's truly crossing the line, and it does. It pulls it all the way through, and it's really, really engaging to watch. And it really just steals at home. And all the stunts, and all the practical effects, and all the CG effects, really good. Granted, at times it was just too. A few times it really was just. A few times, I have to admit, it really was just complete overkill. Like the planes falling out of, the cars falling out of the plane in midair. I'm just like, that's so ridiculous. And then there's another part in the movie where they're pretty much in. It's not Dubai, but it's pretty much like. I think it's in Qatar in the Middle East, and they take there's like the 3-4 buildings, and they get one car from it, and they go from another to another, and it's those moments I'm just like, this is so ridiculous. This is fucking insane. But even aside from that, of how unbelievably insane and ludicrous it is, it's still unbelievably fun and feels real big octane, Fast and Furious type of racing engagement that I had once before. It's like the energy they've always had from the action scenes before is still just as good. And I granted the effects at times are not that great. And sometimes I do have to admit the action is very, very spotty, and it's hard to tell what is going on at times. But I do think it does still remain very, very consistent and highly, highly entertaining. And I felt it was just completely compelling all the way through, with a great story structure, with good characters, good effects, and overall good message. And I do love the movie's progression and its own symbolic meaning of like camaraderie, brothers, and basically family. And it really does bring that out, even though it's not really, it's done multiple things have done it before and done it better. But this film, it feels very, very respectful for doing that. Especially when you have these actors putting their lives on stake for doing these for your own entertainment. For shit's sake, one of these actors did die. Paul Walker died because he loved doing these movies so much. And yeah, it seems like this movie was made for like the entertainment of the creators, the masterminds of these movies. I won't say masterminds, but they're like the creators of these movies. They created for them. They created these movies also for the fans. But in this movie, it seems like they were directly pulling like a great big thank you to Paul Walker's family. And basically, how they kept going with the loss of an actor who unfortunately died while making the film. And this going on like that takes a lot of not just takes a lot of bravery, but it takes a lot of restraint and a lot of. This is very noble of them to not get completely sidetracked from making the movie and losing all hope because one of your co-workers died making the film, and just staying that dedicated to your project really does come across. And when I saw this movie, at the very end, it said, for Paul. And at that point, I'm just like, I'm not crying. I'm not crying. I was not crying, but it was very emotional. The ending just ends on such a good damn note that if they do make more movies, which I have a feeling they probably will, well, first off, I have nothing against that they do. If they want to make more movies of these, then go ahead. But it seems like the way it ended is like, if this is the last Fast and Furious movie, then I'm going to say that this ending is perfect. It's absolutely perfect for the film. And it ends on such a great, well-made, tightly wrapped in note. You're just like, that is so damn good. And the way it seems like they tied it up in a really nice bow for the whole franchise. And they keep it at 7. Then, and if this is the last one, then I'm going to say it's the best ending it could have gotten. And this movie knows what it is. It's silly, it's fun, it's over the top, and it knows what it is. So I'm not going to give this movie at least more. I'm not going to give it more than 85%. than that, because it is so ridiculous that it knows it. But this film is still hugely entertaining for its own sake, with great action, great story, and wonderful characters that carries it through wonderfully. And in the end, I'm going to give Fast and Furious 7 78%. A great, mature, I won't say mature, but a very, very appropriate rating for the movie. It knows what it is, and it takes that for the full extent, but with a lot of good honor and dignity along to go with the movie. And I really want to commend this film for doing what it did, for being strong. And in the end, it really is the second best of the franchise. The best still is Fast 5. That movie is awesome. It's really awesome. That's my favorite franchise. I like this one more, probably just a little bit more than a 6. In my opinion, that's what I think of the movie Fast 5. Now, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this review. Feel free to comment down below what you think of this movie. And as always, everyone, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the future for more videos and more reviews. Till then, I'm out.